In this video, I want to talk to you about how I managed to actually trade on margin using Freqtrade and FTX. Now, the way it works is we use some tokens that are called leverage tokens. They have been created by FTX. FTX is a future derivative exchanges, and I frankly do all my trading here now. Anyways, the point of the leverage token is that they get exposure 3 times long or 3 times short, and the way it is through a spot token. So you're not on margin and you're not using leverage yourself. Now these tokens, they hold futures position, right? You can imagine them as a trader. So let's say BNB bull, in this case it's 3 times long BNB token. If BNB goes up 10%, then it goes up 30%. If BNB goes down 10%, then it goes down minus 30% roughly. Now, these tokens are a high risk instrument because if BNB, for example, went down 33% in a single minute, this token, which has to hold futures position on the background, then will get liquidated. I mean, this thing has not happened just yet on any token. This has been running now for 9 months on FTX. So it's very unlikely to happen. But, you know, the idea of trading this is that we're going to be using stop losses, right? We're going to use Freqtrade system or bot to actually manage your risk. So it doesn't really matter. Now, the fees associated with these tokens are when you create them. If you create these tokens, you need to actually pay a little bit more, or if you say if you convert them, right, you can convert them here, right? You get a quote. This is not using the spot market but FTX system, right? Convert them to dollars. It's always better to sell on the spot market, right, which is what we're gonna use Freqtrade for. You can create them, right, because when you use your dollars to create them, then more futures, in this case long, are going to be put in the background for your tokens. These tokens are ERC20 tokens, right? You can follow them on Etherscan and you can withdraw them. Some of them are even listed on Binance, so you can move them to Binance, trading on Binance, trade them on Gate.io or BitMax. There are multiple exchanges out there. And in any cases, you could even buy on Binance, deposit them on FTX and redeem them, right? Redeem, it's like, I guess, convert them back to dollars or destroy their positions, like the ones that you have, remove them from circulation. Anyway, you don't want to do that because they charge a little bit more, like those have intrinsic fees on them. So ideally, you just use the spot markets. FTX used to have 10 times long or 10 times short, but those things were really volatile, and there were a lot of complaints from the users that did not understand them, and they got delisted this month. But anyways, the point is that since Freqtrade can manage spot markets really well, and these tokens, right, you can get negative exposure. Let's say on BNB beer, right? BNB beer will be minus 7%. I mean, minus 3 times minus the volatility of BNB. So when BNB goes down, this thing goes up, right? So it's like a pseudo short. It's like a fake short, and you're managing it the same way as a spot token, right? In terms of volume, you know, FTX has a lot of market makers that provide liquidity, and obviously they want to make money on the arbitrage. So in general, I have found myself using market orders, and I don't have any issues doing that. So it's great. But seeing low volumes on the chart doesn't actually matter because these tokens can go up or down in value without actually trading it themselves. Because remember, they have futures positions that they hold, and that's what gives them value. It's not that people are trading them, so no one can actually come in and dump a ton of tokens, right? Because they will have to actually, let's say, dump the underlying in this case BNB, to actually dump BNB bull, right? In this case, the BNB bear, you have to buy a ton of BNB to move the spot markets of BNB to actually, move the markets of this thing. So that's why, as you can see here in the candles, the volume doesn't actually really matter when you trade them. And this is one of the things that I've been doing lately, and Freqtrade have found really good strategies for this. For example, as you can see, these little arrows, the blue one and red one, was when Freqtrade bought and it sold, and it made like 53% on this trade. So in general, I love it, and I do all my trading here, as these people also give out 24/7 support. Anyways, if you like this video, leave it in a comment, and if you have questions, also check the link in the description that explains how leverage tokens work, or just comment on YouTube right there, and I'll answer your questions. I'll do another video explaining how to actually configure it, because you need to add headers on the configuration file to actually specify a sub account on Freqtrade for this thing, right? I'm not trading Freqtrade on my main account, but FTX allows you to have multiple sub accounts. So I created a sub account only for Freqtrade to trade, and then I do my other trading on the other accounts. Anyways, all these markets are against the dollar. That's something really important to note. And what else? Well, that's about it. See you on another video.